everyone. I'm Keisha, your host of Beauty and the Wise, the ultimate lifestyle and wellness podcast where we empower women over 40 to redefine the narrative around what aging well looks like for them. You can call it aging well, aging gracefully, healthy aging, even anti-aging. We are here for it all. We want to be able to encourage you so that you can advocate for your own health and well-being. As women, we go through many hormonal phases through our lifetime. And with that, especially for women over 40, add on different responsibilities and commitments that just seem to multiply as we get older. Today's guest, a good friend of mine, understands all of the stress that's related to trying to manage it all. She, with her company, Love and Light Empowerment, can help women to support them by prioritizing their self-care and not feeling guilty or selfish about it. Keisha Allen of Love and Light Empowerment, welcome to Beauty and the Wise.
Thank you, Keisha. Glad to be here today.
I am glad to have you. And actually, I should say, disclaimer, Keisha and I go way back, so we may be having this conversation and forget where we are. So we might need to edit some things. But Keisha, let's jump in.
Okay.
Tell us about Love and Light Empowerment.
Okay, so Love and Light Empowerment kind of evolved just through my life's journey. Having gone through some traumatic experiences, also just being a busy woman, right? A mother of two, working full-time in the education system, as well as having a business of my own. So outside of Love and Light Empowerment, I am an entrepreneur. I have Target Learning, a tutoring business. So basically getting to a point where I'm feeling overwhelmed and stressed and realizing that, I need to make some changes in my life to do things about that. And I would definitely say working in education, working with teachers, my role, I do staff development and instruction. So I do a lot of workshops with teachers. And, education is a very, very stressful job. Like I always say, imagine if a doctor or a lawyer had to work with 20 clients at once, right? So as teachers, we do that all day. And so one day I said, you know what, I'm going to try something different and offer a self-care workshop instead of a workshop about teaching strategies or behavior management and things like that. And the response that I received was so overwhelmingly positive, just asking for more. And I realized, you know what, this is a need. And so Love and Light Empowerment kind of developed out of that.
Yeah, that's common. I mean, as women, we're juggling so many commitments, responsibilities. It makes sense. It makes sense. And we have these common stressors that, that have an impact on our physical, mental, emotional, all of it.
Yes.
So give us a kind of a sense as to how you walk women through, helping them or even getting someone to identify.
Yeah. So, what I've noticed is that outside of our day-to-day activities, like our job that we have, women also have this hidden workload, right? Especially women over 40. And so we are actually managers of our households. We're to that age and phase in life where we may be taking care of aging parents, right? And that can also take a toll on you. And then just taking on the emotional, heavy lifting of other family members. But when I say that hidden workload, things like, thinking about what's for dinner, having to be a chauffeur, if you have children, taking them to all their events, knowing what day it is at school. Is it pajama day? Is it
snack duty?
Yeah.
Recital.
Exactly, right?
Assembly performance.
All these actual things that we have to think about, right? So, and they're just the basics, right? The laundry, the taking care of the household. And so that all of that adds to our stress level. And we just go about doing it day to day like this is the norm. And, these are things we just have to get done. But we fail to realize that there are things that we can do to help ourselves to alleviate some of the stresses, because it really takes a toll on, as you said, our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being.
This pressure to manage it all I mean, you're right. Managing it all. What exactly is that? It encompasses so much, and it's the things that you don't even think about.
Yeah.
The birthday invitation that your child gets to, and you got to buy the gift.
Yeah.
You got to get them there. Is it a drop off or a stay?
Yeah, exactly, right? That in itself just adds a whole layer.
Exactly.
Don't let it be a milestone birthday year. Everybody's turning 10 or 16.
Oh my goodness.
The parties every weekend. So yeah, that just adds to the stress load of living.
How do you help women identify this balance or this relief of that?
Yeah. So I actually have a free energy audit that I, offer to women. And so with that, you kind of answer questions that are based on your different areas of wellness. So it could be your physical, your mental, your social, your emotional, right? So you answer questions, and from that audit, you'll see which areas you actually are kind of heaviest when it comes to stress, and which areas that you are doing okay with. Some people are just heavy in all areas, right? And so from that audit, then I also have a free energy deposit guide where you can look at some ideas for things that you can do and just create new habits in your life that will help you to manage that well-being. So first is identifying where your stresses are and what they come from. And then after that, it's looking at changes you can make and things that you can do to help yourself to reduce your stress and then also restore your energy levels.
And I guess when people think about stress, the first thing you think of is physical.
Right.
But you're right. There is the emotional. There's the mental piece of it.
Yeah.
And I know for me, I struggle with trying to sit still and just meditate. And I know people kind of get turned off, like, oh my God, that's such a task to meditate. But just finding time to sit
Yeah.
in stillness is a lot.
Yep. Just learning how to pump your brakes, right? I call it a 2-minute vacation, and just even building in 2 minutes throughout your day periodically to just pause and just be still. You don't even have to necessarily close your eyes and meditate, but just kind of just take a moment, just breathe, right? Stop whatever you're doing. And then even simple things like when you're eating. Nowadays, when we're at work, we eat while we're
Yes.
doing our work, right?
Mindless.
Eat that lunch at the same time. At the dinner table, you're reading, you're on your phone looking at something. So just practicing even mindful eating, just focusing on what you're eating when you're eating it can help you just to kind of pause and calm yourself and help to bring that balance back to yourself, because it's necessary.
It is. And I went walking this morning. Well, I go every day, but this morning I knew I was going to be interviewing you later. I was out walking and I realized I'm got my music on or I'm listening to an audiobook, and I can't remember the last time I went for a walk and I didn't listen to anything, or I just took it all in.
Yeah.
I had to press pause. You know, when you're walking and you just look up.
Yeah.
You look I walk through the track, so I'm looking at the trees. I haven't done that in so long.
Yeah. It's so important. And it's funny you say that. I did my walk this morning too, and I never walk with headphones. I always just tune into nature. And it's something about just kind of focusing on your surroundings. You'll be amazed what you see or what crosses your path as you walk. And walking is so beneficial. Like, I recommend it to everybody, right? Because it's low impact, right? So most people, if you're physically able, you can walk, and it just balances, it just brings so many aspects of your wellness into play. So you're getting your exercise, you're connecting with nature, right? You can definitely ground yourself while you're walking. It's a form of self-care. So it's definitely something that we can do just to help ourselves.
It's definitely something about it. I get most of my best ideas or my creative ideas when I'm out walking.
Yeah.
When if I am listening to something, again, mindlessly listening to it.
Right.
But I tend to have moments where I can tune in with myself, and that's when I get a lot of my best ideas.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brings you that balance.
Which, brings us to that whole thing about neglecting our self-care needs and prioritizing. And you're right. I have gotten into the habit of first thing in the morning, I go for my walk because I know if I don't get it in before the work day starts, it's not going to happen. And then by the end of the day, I'm probably beating myself up because, oh my God, I didn't go for my walk. I missed my walk today, or I missed my exercise routine. It's tough. And so how can you help women get past that? Don't beat yourself up about it.
Yeah. It's so important to give yourself grace, right? We're not perfect. Every day is different. Things come up, but just go for that consistency. You can't be perfect, but consistency comes. So I actually have a book, 77 Ways to Reduce Stress and Energize Your Life. And within that, it is a energy guide as well. And that helps you to track your habits. So it gives you ideas of what you can do to kind of restore your energy. But more importantly, the part, and maybe because I'm a teacher, right? So it's like that workbook phase for me. But it includes a habit tracker. And sometimes we have to hold ourselves accountable and actually writing things down and checking off when we complete it. It does something for us mentally, right? So in there, it's a 52-week habit tracker. And I always tell people to use my energy formula. And that's included in the book. And you can just write down some things that you are going to do for yourself or start to build into your daily and weekly habits. So the energy formula stands for the E is exercise, the N is nature. So making sure you connect with nature. The next E is for eating well, just paying attention to the things you eat and put inside your body. The R is for rest and relaxation. The G is for grounding and getting your mind right. And then Y is for you come first, because we have to start to prioritize our self-care. So with that, you just decide, what do I want to do? What things for each of those ladders or each of those things in the energy acronym would I like to do? And you create your own energy formula. And then each day you just check off what you complete and what you don't. And then you just have grace with yourself. If some days you miss, just strive to do it the next day. And over time, the consistency will pay off, even if you're not perfect with it.
You know, rest is something, I think it's one of those things where we're taught, well, you rest after you do X, Y, Z, or you earn your rest after you've done all this hard work.
Yeah.
No, I just want to rest.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to listen to your body, and sometimes your body just takes over and forces you to rest.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
And we kind of don't want to get to that point, but we definitely have to listen to our body, and rest can look differently at different times. So definitely when we talk about rest, it's sleeping, but sometimes it might just be laying on your couch, right? And reading a good book or watching TV. And sometimes for me, I love the ocean. So I just go to the beach, I go for a swim, or if it's too cold, sometimes just sitting there, right? Or just putting my feet in, just brings me that kind of calmness that I need, that helps me to reset. So it's definitely important that we get that rest. And then we have to ask ourselves, what does our rest look like? Because a lot of times nowadays, even though you may be getting in bed and you're going to sleep, maybe you're getting 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep, but what is happening during that sleep? Are you falling asleep and then the TV is still on, or there's a device near you showing light? Is it still some sound in the background? And research shows that we get our best sleep and our body is best able to restore itself when we're sleeping in complete darkness and silence. And that doesn't happen very often nowadays, right?
No, that was one of the things my doctor had recommended I do, was track my sleep pattern, my habits. How long am I going to sleep? What's my surroundings? Yeah. I have to sleep with a fan on. I don't care what day of the year it is. So exactly, it makes a difference how you prepare to go to sleep at night, how you prepare your body.
Absolutely. And it's funny you say that, because I also promote having a morning ritual, right? So I call it my magic mornings, where I have my morning routine. It changes from day to day, but I always incorporate some form of movement and meditation. But within the last year, I started focusing on having a nighttime routine. And so I call them my nourishing nights. And it has improved my sleep so much, just kind of being intentional about bringing myself to a place of calm before I get in bed to go to sleep.
And it's not even that. It changes everything else that comes before it, because now I need to eat my dinner earlier
Mm-hmm.
so that everything digests, so that I can get to sleep, so that, I'm not tossing and turning at night.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's helped me in that way too, because full transparency, I love a nighttime snack, right? So, and of course that works against me with everything, right? So building in that routine has helped me to eliminate that. So now I just might replace it with a cup of tea.
There you go.
Yeah. Sounded like an ill person.
Exactly. But that's my every night by
Yeah.
7:30.
Yeah.
So another area that I know women struggle with is this whole idea of saying no. I mean, that was something that it's like a light bulb that goes off when you realize, oh no, this is just a normal word that I can say. You ask me, so no, the answer is no, because I need to think about what's best for me. But speak to me in regards to how you find women trying to make that shift to no being its own sentence.
Yeah, no, it's it's very difficult for people. And I would say firstly, I think all women should kind of get clear on what their goals are for themselves. What are their values? And then once you have that clarity, you can decide what you're going to say no to and who you're going to say no to. And sometimes we have to say no to ourselves, right? And, understanding that no doesn't have to have an explanation with it, right? It's just no. But definitely getting clear on your values. And one other thing, that aligns with this is when you're trying to reduce your stress, I always teach people to practice the 5 Ds. So, making a list of everything that's on your plate or everything you have to do. And then go through that list and decide, okay, firstly, what do I want to drop? Because it's some things that we do that just don't align with our values anymore. Like for me, one thing, I was on all these committees and I had to decide, you know what? Every time I look, I have another meeting to go to and it's just taking up time. It's taking energy. You leave the meeting, then you got something to do for that committee. And I had to say to myself, yes, you like to be involved in all these things, but, I had to tell myself no first, like, don't take on anything else. And then, drop some of this extra duties or committees that I was on. And then you ask yourself, what can you delay, right? What's on your to-do list that doesn't have to be done right now? And the big one is delegate, right? Delegating, whether it be at work or in the household. So that's saying no in the household, just delegating small things like laundry. Like my children were big enough and I made this shift. It was like, why am I doing the laundry still? And when I decided to tell myself, no, you're not doing that anymore, and delegate that to my children, I brought back some hours in my life on a weekend, right? So delegate, declutter. Oh my God.
We could have a whole episode on this one.
Right? That's the fourth one. And when our space is cluttered, our mind's cluttered. When our mind's cluttered, our space is cluttered, right?
It's such a little shift. Oh my God.
It is. And it could be our bag, it could be our closets, our drawers, our desks, but you see that clutter and it definitely connects with our mental state. And so that's something constant to work on. And once you start to declutter things, you'll see that your stress kind of starts to drop off a bit.
Yeah.
And after you go through your list and you go through those 4Ds, your fifth one is just to do. And that's whatever you have left on your list to do. And I find that practice for myself helps me when I'm starting to feel overwhelmed. Because don't get it twisted. It's a ongoing journey, right? We're doing good, then we fall off, and then we pick back up again. But just having some tools in our toolkit will help us to get on track.
Yeah, the decluttering is stuff. It's a big thing for me. I know every so often I get in that just space, everything has to go. Yeah. And I feel so much better afterwards. But I mean, you kick yourself because we just accumulate stuff.
Oh my God.
And you're right. Physically, we're gutted. It's all mental. It just keeps adding on.
Yeah.
And once, get rid of it, all of it, gone.
Yeah. And then, you're spot on with that because sometimes we're keeping stuff that has an emotional attachment. Sometimes you think you're just going to need it later. But yeah.
You'll wear it at some point and you never wear it.
Exactly. And it comes on to that 80-20 rule, right? We were 20% of what's in our closet, 80% of the time. So why do we have it, right?
Exactly.
But I'm on vacation from my full-time job this week, and this is purge week. So I'm in a declutter mood. You know, like I said, it's a continuous progress.
It is. It is.
Progress, sorry.
It is.
Yeah.
It's every time my son comes in from school, I'm clearing out before he comes.
Yes.
To make space. Who knows what he's bringing home from? But yes, it's like you don't even wear these clothes anymore. We got to get rid of it. And he wants to hold on to stuff. I'm like, no, you're not gonna wear it. No, it's like, yeah, get rid of it.
Let it go. It's so necessary.
It makes a difference. It really does.
Yeah.
It does.
So we have to say no to others. We also have to say no to ourselves.
And that is a big one.
Yeah.
Saying no to yourself.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially when you know you're doing something
Yeah.
that isn't serving you.
Exactly.
But because you've always done it.
Yeah. And we evolve over time, and some things just don't align with us anymore. We have to let it go.
People, clothes, stuff.
Let it all go. People included.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah. It's so true. Yeah.
So in the book, what are your top ways or habits that you like to focus on? You must have a favorite.
Yeah, definitely. Some of my favorites are definitely yoga. I enjoy doing yoga. That helps you physically. It helps you mentally. It helps you emotionally and spiritually, right?
Yeah.
Because it brings all of that into play. And I'm big into energy healing, right? So basically, your free-flowing energy in your body is the key to wellness, right? Because when you have blockages through your body, or when you're stiff, that's what kind of leads to your body being in a state of dis-ease, right? And that leads to disease. So you want to keep things flowing, right? When you think of a leaf, when it's alive, it's malleable, right? But when it's dead, it's stiff. Same thing with us as humans. So the tighter and stiffer you are, the less healthy you are, right? So yoga definitely helps with that. Another top one for me is breath work. So a lot of my meditation, so mindfulness, meditation, all of that can kind of be combined in one. So breath work is huge for me. I think our breathing, our breath is underrated. It's one of the few things that we do both consciously and unconsciously. Like if you had to remember to breathe,
Yes.
you wouldn't be here, right? But yet we could also control our breathing. And when you think about it, as a child, when you were running and exhausted, they always told you to take deep breaths. If you're feeling very emotional or hysterical or feeling anxious, they tell you to take deep breaths. As women, when we are going to go into labor, we go to Lamar's class, and they're teaching you breathing techniques, because breathing also it also helps you to manage pain. So our breath is a tool that we carry with us all the time that we don't really use as we could. And so with the breath work, what it can do, you can kind of change your breathing patterns to kind of help your body shift into states that you needed to shift into. So if you want to calm yourself, you want to make sure your exhale is longer than your inhale. But if you want to energize yourself, you want to make sure that your inhale is longer than your exhale. So I practice breath work all the time as part of my meditation routine, or if I'm just, say, in a meeting and I'm just being a little tired, nobody would know, but I'm in there breathing, just energizing myself, because I need to stay awake and alert, right?
Or not say something that you probably shouldn't say.
Exactly.
So just focus on the breathing.
Exactly, right? I would say another top one for me is just focusing on how I eat. So it's top, but it's my biggest struggle.
Yeah.
Definitely my biggest struggle. But right now I'm focusing on making sure I getting in some supplements that help me to energize myself, right? Or just help my overall state of well-being. Some of these supplements can even help with stress. One big one right now is just taking these probiotics.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah.
That's important for us, for our gut health, which we all know that also affects our mental well-being as well. So yeah,
it's all connected.
It's all connected.
And going back through what you just said, I was listening to, I think, a podcast. Anyway, I've been trying to do my yoga on a regular, but life.
Yeah.
So you get in when you can. And it was the difference between showing up on your mat and actually practicing yoga. Because like you said, you can get on your mat and do all sorts of things, but it's the practice of yoga that makes a difference.
Exactly, right? So it's the journey of it. And it's the just practicing the breath work as you go through those positions, connecting your body to your mind, right? And to your spirit. And I think that makes a big, big difference. And hey, every little bit counts. Sometimes in my morning routine, I could give it 20 minutes. Sometimes I have enough time like to do a whole hour, right? But sometimes if I just have to do 3 sun salutations, that's how much time I have to do it. Sometimes I can go and sit on my porch and meditate for 10 minutes. Sometimes it's 5, right? So it depends, right? We have to be realistic with the goals that we set for ourselves, and just go with it. Do what you can when you can.
How would you encourage somebody to start with that whole, if they want to if they want to meditate, how would you go about getting somebody who is constantly going, nonstop, mind's always thinking about the next thing, to wrap their head around sitting still and meditating? And I guess, no, I'll let you answer because I think I know what I want to say.
Okay. If I don't answer it, what I would tell people would be to just try it, right? You don't knock it till you try it. Try with 2 minutes, try with 1 minute. I would say try sitting for 2 minutes, just doing what I call 1 to 2 breathing. So however many counts you inhale for, exhale for double. Do it for 2 minutes and just notice how you feel, right? And that's where I tell people to start. And most times they feel the sense of calm that it brings them. On top of that, maybe just try a guided meditation, right? Okay. Because then you don't have to just sit there and feel like you're focusing on meditating. And then understanding that your mind drifting off, because that's what you always hear people say. I try and meditate, but then I start thinking about something else.
List or this. Yeah.
That's normal. And that's the whole practice, because once you notice yourself thinking about something, just notice it and then come back to the counting of your breath. So that's why the counting also helps, because now you're focusing on the counting and it helps your mind not to wander, but when it does wander, just notice it and come back to the counting. And you'll get it over time. You can't really control. It's not that we're trying to control our mind. We're just trying to bring ourselves into a habit of being able to sit and sit still and just pause, right? We don't understand. We all know about our stress response system, right? And our body get into that fight, flight, and freeze mood. But I don't think we're aware how much we're in that mood all day long. So if you wake up to an alarm clock, immediately you activated your stress response system, because you're startled and you jump up. And then say you're late, so now you're rushing, right? Or you're trying to get children up. You are in a stress mood from the beginning of your day, then you get in traffic. And so if we are not intentional about bringing in periods of our day where we are just pausing and doing things to calm ourselves down, even though it feels normal to us, it's having a negative impact on our health, right? Because we are in that state of stress. And I also encourage people, I call it our energy bank account. So that's where I get the idea of the energy deposits and energy withdrawals. And if we just stop and think about a regular day in our lives, if you had to make a list and state everything you do in your day that causes energy withdrawals and everything that adds energy to your life or restores your energy, most people have a long list of energy withdrawals and a short list of deposits. So we want to be intentional about finding things that we enjoy or things that work for us that give us our energy back or that restore.
Because you will always have energy withdrawals.
You will.
Exactly.
But if we're not intentional about doing things that give us energy,
then this will always be lopsided.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
One of the points that you made in regards to the alarm clock, another stressor is you wake up and you automatically think, how much sleep did I have? Did I get my 8 hours or my 7 hours?
Yep.
And then even if it's a quick 2-second thought,
yeah,
and you're calculating it, that already adds stress. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I didn't get enough sleep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or we turn right to our cell phones.
Yes.
And then, that's something else. There's people who watch the news first thing in the morning.
Oh my
9 times
God.
out of 10, there's some negativity there. That doesn't help, right? So we just need to find that balance. That's why that morning routine became so important to me, because I was like, you know what? If I ground myself in the morning and start my day in a place of calm, I'm more likely to be more productive or be able to handle the stresses that come my way. Because you can't control it sometimes, right? You can't control
Exactly.
the stresses that come your way.
Exactly. Even as much as we say no, they're still there.
Yeah, things happen, so just give ourselves a toolkit.
Okay, well, speaking about toolkits, what advice or what support or what can we do for you? Like, what is it you want to share in regards to the different workshops that you have? How can somebody get in contact with you? How can you support someone's emotional well-being as well?
Yeah. So first, you could purchase my book. It's available on Amazon as well as in People's Pharmacy and the Book Mart and Bermuda Bookstore. Aside from that, check out my Linktree / Love and Light Empowerment. And there you can get access to my workshops that I offer. You can also email me on KeishaEmpowers@gmail.com or follow me on Instagram. And Instagram is Love and Light Empowerment, or Facebook under my name, as well as LinkedIn. And I would say definitely check out my workshops. I offer them group-based. So if you have a group of friends, a community organization, maybe it's a committee you're on, corporate workshops. So I do them for groups, as well as I'm about to launch my courses, my online courses. So you'll be able to do this on demand at your own pace. So just tap into that Love and Light Empowerment on the Linktree. You can add yourself to my list so you get on my email list. And hear more about that information. But definitely looking forward to being able to just offer those group settings. And because I firmly believe that having just some accountability partners or just having a network or community of other women that you can work with definitely goes a long way with helping us to stay consistent. Because
Absolutely.
with my book, I tell people all the time, it's 77 ideas in there. 9 times out of 10, we're already doing some of the things. Is our consistency that we struggle with, right? So having the habit tracker definitely helps, but then just having a network or a community that's working together and helping to hold each other accountable.
Supporting each other.
Yeah.
And knowing that it's not just you.
Exactly.
Makes a huge difference.
A big, big difference. Yeah.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. So I ask my guests at the end, given everything you've experienced in regards to your health and well-being, what would you tell your younger self?
Yeah. I would tell my younger self to make sure I have small daily habits, right, that help to promote my health and well-being. And I would tell myself that wellness is more than just my physical well-being. Right? It encompasses, it's really 8 dimensions of wellness, but my younger self, I would keep it to that 4 and be like, focus on that physical, mental, emotional, and that spiritual well-being, because it's so important. And if we have deficits in any of those areas, it causes us to, it has a negative impact on our lives. So, and give myself grace.
Nice.
Give myself grace.
Yes.
Sure. All off, but hop back.
Exactly. Thanks, Keisha.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me.
This is good.
It's great.
Thank you to our guests today. For all of our episodes will be on inzuriwellness.com. And for future, if there's a topic or anything, idea that you have about the show that you want to share, please just send a message to info@inzuriwellness.com, especially when it comes to ideas on future topics. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks again.